Okay, I'm gonna do an interesting Sudoku today. This one is called Oroboros 2, Our Oroborealis, which I'm sure is a reference to something that I am unfamiliar with. All right, this is Future Scott jumping in here. I Googled Oroboros, and apparently it's a circular symbol depicting a snake, or less commonly a dragon, swallowing its tail as an emblem of wholeness or infinity. Which makes sense because of kind of the looping nature of this rule set, as um, past Scott will explain in just a minute here. So I do know what it means now, and I'm going to send it back over to past Scott. But I've actually done Ouroboros 1, the first version of this rule set. This is by Michael Goss, also known as Mallow the Cloud. So it's a little bit of a complicated rule set, but once you kind of figure out what all those words mean, it's not so bad. So I'm actually not going to read the rules because you can read through those. It's a little confusing, I think, just reading it. So let's look at the example over here. I've got it on the right side of the screen, um, right up, right up there. So take the 3 here in the top row. If you look at the 3, now these end up kind of creating little groups of 3, but essentially what this says is in box 1, the digits are telling us the position of the 1 in the other boxes. So the 3 in the second column, row 1, is in the top right of box 1. So that digit is telling you the position of the 1 in the top right box. So in the top right box, you'll notice there's a 1 in the third position, the third column, row 2, which tells you then that there is a 2 in the first position in the bottom left box, which is, so that's why there's these triangles drawn in here, because you kind of get these loops, because then that 2 in the third row, first column, is telling you there's a 3 in the second position in the top left box. Okay, so I know that seems complicated. It is at first, but once you kind of figure out what's going on, it's not too bad. I have solved a similar type of puzzle before with the same rule set, but I have not seen this one, and I thought I'd try it. It's pretty interesting. It's a little different than what most Sudokus are like. So let's see. I'm gonna reset the timer. Okay, so we get a few digits in here, which kind of lets us sort of wrap our head around what's going on. So this 4, for example, is in box 2 here. That 4 is telling you the position of the 2, since it's box 2, the position of the 2 in the bottom right box, since this is in the bottom right corner. So you can kind of think of, these 9 cells. Let's do those yellow, as sort of, you can sort of explode them in a sense, I guess, out. Now I'm doing the middle of the boxes, and it's not necessarily the middle of the boxes, but you can kind of see how these 9 cells here sort of explode out to all the 9 boxes. So this one in the bottom left, it corresponds to this box down here. This one in the bottom middle corresponds to this box. The 4 corresponds to this box. Sort of like that. So, and the fourth position, so this cell corresponds to this box down here. These are all where the 2's go. So the 2 is in the fourth position down here. So we can put a 2 there. Now this one, middle of the left side, so that's this box over here, and it's box 9, so that's telling us the position of the 9. So the position of the 9 in this box is 2, so the 9 goes there. It's the second position. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's how you're numbering them. So the 9 is in the second position. So this is now telling us that there is a 4 in the ninth position up here, which is right there. So we've kind of made our loop, our triangle here. They end up in rings of 3. Now, I noticed that when I was solving the last puzzle with this rule set. So you get these loops of 3 all the time, unless you have a self-referential cell. For example, right up here, if this is a 1, that says that there is this is the position of the 1 is box 1. It's telling us the position of the 1 in the top left box is position 1. Well, that's where it is. So you can have ones that refer to themselves. This would be the 2. You know, if it's the same digit in its position in its box. And so one thing that means, you know, there's 81 digits in a grid. So if they're in loops of 3, that's 27 loops of 3. Like this 429 would be one of the loops. So there's 27 of those loops. So if you do have a 1 up here, that's not part of a loop. So you would then have two digits somewhere, because they're multiples of 3, 2 of them somewhere that are missing their third part of their loop. So there must be 3, 6, so 0, 3, 6, or 9 of these that refer to themselves. I don't know that that's really going to help us much, but it's something that we might be able to use. You know, if we get a 1 here, then we know there has to be 2 more. You know, the 2, the 3, the 4, the 5. 2 of these that refer to themselves. At least 2 more somewhere in the grid. So I'll try and keep that in mind. Okay, so we've did the 4. Let's do the 8 here. This is telling us, this is box 6, so this is telling us in the top left, the 6 is in the 8th position. And that is telling us that in the bottom middle, the 1 is in the 6th position. So there's a 1 there, which should then hopefully say that there's an 8 in the first position over here. Yep. Okay, this 8 here is telling us there's a 5 in the 8th position over here, which is then telling us there's a 6 in the 5th position down here, which should then tell us that there is an 8 in the 6th position in the middle. Yep. Good. And you know, we could just do 2 of them and say, okay, well, it's just going to loop back. But I think it's good to check, because it's easy to make some mistakes in this rule set. So I'm going to go ahead and do that third connection and make sure that we didn't mess up somewhere. All right, this 3 is telling us there's a 5 in the 3rd position up here, which says there's a 2 in the 5th position over here, which then says there's a 3 in the 2nd position in the middle. Yep. All right. So we've done all of these. And unfortunately, since they are closed loops of 3, we don't get to then say, oh, this 5 gives us something and this 6 gives us something. We've used all of our easy ones, essentially. So let's see, what can we do? Well, we know there's a 2 over here. So I don't know if this is the best way to do it. This is what I did the last time. This was kind of my approach. There's probably a better way, but what I'm going to do is say there's a 2 over here. So this is giving us the position of the 6. So the 6 is in the 2nd position in one of these boxes. So there's a 6 in one of those 3, which then means, and those all refer to the box 2 because they're the top middle of their box, which then means that, and there's going to be a 6 in one of those. So the 6th position up here is going to be a 3, 6, or 9, because these are boxes 3, 6, and 9. So this is a 3, 6, or 9. So these 3 2s refer to 6s there, which is going to give you a 3, 6, or 9 there. So essentially, if this is the 2, that's a 3. If this is the 2, that's a 6. If this is the 2, that's a 9. Okay, let's see. We can do the same thing with the 8s down here. So there's an 8 over here, which means the 4 is in the 8th position in one of these, which means the 4th position in this box is a 7, 8, or 9. Okay, let's see. What else can we do? 2s and 8s. We could do something with 6s maybe. 6s, yeah, 6s are in one of these 3. So that gives us a 2 in the 6th position in this box, or this box. Well, it can't be this top one up here. Right? That can't be a 6 because we already have a 6 in that box. And that it connects with that one. So there's a 6 in one of these two, which puts a 2 in one of those, which then means the second position over here is a 4 or a 6. But we've also limited 6 to row 2 in this box. So now we've got 6s here, which puts a 6 across the top there. So that means the 3 is in the 6th position in one of these 3. Those are all still possible, I think. So there's a 3 in one of those, which means in this box, the 3rd position is 1, 2, or 3. But that can't be a 3. So there can't be a 3 there, which makes sense, actually, because if you think about it, a 3 there means there's a 3 right here, and you can't have 2 3s in the column. But that 3 came from there being a 6 right there, so that can't be a 6. This can still be 1 or 2. So we can still have those 2 6s, which would correspond with 3s in those positions. By the way, if you hear the yelling in the background, hopefully it's not too loud. But my kids are playing in the basement. They're playing basketball, so apologize if there's a lot of noise. But life, right? All right. So there's a 5 in one of these 3. Let's see, what does that correspond? So this is giving us the position of the 5. So what happens here is there's probably a more general way to think about this, but basically a digit in its own box, so a 5 in box 5, can't be in the same row as the 5th position. Or the same column as the 5th position, for that matter. Now, we can't have a 5 down here because of this, but let's just pretend that wasn't there for a minute. Imagine you put a 5 right here. That would put a 5 in the 5th position right below it, and you couldn't do that even if that 6 went, because it would be in the same column. And then for the same reason, if you put a 5 right here, that's going to put a 5 in the 5th position over here. So you can't actually have it in the same row or column. So the 5 means you can't put a 5 anywhere in there in box 5. But for 4, for example, in box 4 here, you couldn't put a 4 in any of those. Because if you have a 4 right here, that's putting a 4 in the 4th position in this box. So you're going to have 2 in the same column. Same here. You'd end up with those 2. And if you put it above, you'd end up there. And below, you'd end up there. So in its own box, the digit can't be in the same row or column as its position, if that makes any sense. It's a little complicated, but just trust me. So 5s are there, which is going to correspond with a 5 it's either going to be self-referential or a 5 there, which would put a 1 in the 5th position here. Okay, which is all possible. So actually, this has to be a 1 or a 5. These 2 5s are going to refer to a 1 or a 5 being there. Okay. So there's a 1 or a 5 there. Now, I was just noticing, I hadn't been thinking about this, but the 5, so you can't put a 5 in its same row or column here, 4 there. But in fact, if we look over here, that means this is the 6th position, so we can't have a 6 in any of those. Because, well, we can have one there. You can't have it in any of these 4, I guess. Because this one would put a 6 there, which obviously isn't going to be possible. Anyways, this one would put a 6 there. These would put 6s down here or up here. So this could still be a 6 or those 2. So there's going to be a 6 in one of these 3. Which would put a 6 in the 6th. Now this one is going to put a 6 in the 6th position down here. But that doesn't work because of that 6. So that one's not possible. So we've only got 2 6 options here. So this one either refers to itself or there's a 6 there. Which then puts a 2 or a 6 right here. 2 or a 6. Let's see. There's some other ones that. So 2 can't be in any of those. We already know it can't be there. Oh, so So the same thing up here, because this is the second position in box 2, you can't put a 2 in any of those. And since we have a 2 over here, we can't put a 2 in these. So there's a 2 in one of those, which either refers to itself or puts a 2 down here. So there's a 2 in one of those two, which then makes this a 2 or a 7. Let's see. One. There's more options. I'm trying to look for ones that don't have a lot of options. The 8. The 8. So this is the 8th position, so we can't put an 8 in any of those. And there's an 8 up here, so we can't put 8s there. We can put an 8 in. It can refer to itself. We have to remember that. So there's 3 options for 8s. That's not too bad. Let's look at those. So that puts an 8 in the 8th position. This one would put an 8 right there, but there's already a 6. We can't have that. There could be an 8 here. So there's an 8 in one of these two, which then makes this one a 4 or an 8. I keep hoping that I'll have some sort of contradiction where there's, there's already a 4 up here. So we'll be down to 1 digit. That's what I'm looking for here. But all these pairs aren't giving us very many options, so I think it'll eventually fall apart. So 5s, I mean, we can limit 5s to 4 places up here. I guess that's not too bad. So 5s in one of those puts a 5. 5s seem to be good too because they're in the middle of the boxes. I feel like really any box should have the same number of interactions, but the 5s feel like they interact more with things for some reason. So that's saying there's a 3 in the 5th position in one of those. So I'm going to highlight those. So there's a 3 in one of these. I think those are all still possible. But that puts the 3rd position in this box as a 4, 6, 7, or 9. 4, 6, 7, 9. And here, see, 4 and 9. So that can't be 4 or 9. It's a 6 or a 7. So that means there's a 3 in one of the 2 blue ones there, which is these two. So these two cannot be 5s. Okay, so that limits our 5s some more. That could still be a 6 or a 7, though, can't it? All right, let's get rid of the highlighting there. Maybe let's look at 5s over here. There's a lot of options, though. Those are all 5s possibilities. So that's going to put a 1 in the 5th position in one of these. Oh, but I can't do box 7 or box 9 because of this 1 in box 8. So actually, it's one of these 3 is a 1. These 2 cannot be 1s. So that's good. It limits it to 1 row. So that puts, if these are 1s, it's referring to box 5. The first position has to be a 4, 5, or 6. And I think those are all still possible. All right. But what that does is it eliminates 1s from this row. And we've already eliminated 1s from these. So there's only 3 options for 1s here. Let's see what that does for us. That's a 2 in the first position. In one of these. Those all still look like they're possible. That puts, if there's a 2 in one of these, that's the second position in box 1. So a 1, 7, or 8. 7 or 8. Let's get rid of the coloring. Okay. We're getting lots of pencil marks. We haven't found the magic spot yet where it's going to break the whole thing apart. We've done 6s up here. What digit? I don't feel like I have enough 9s. There's a 9 in one of these. Is that going to help us at all? That puts a 5 in the 9th position in one of these. Ah, and it can't be this one or this one. So in fact, there can't be a 9 there. So there's a 9 in one of these, which puts a 5 in one of those. Which then means that the 5th position down here is a 7 or a 9. And that 9 puts a 9 in one of these two. So there's a 6 in the 9th position in one of those boxes. There's a 6 in one of those two. Okay. Which then puts a 4 or a 5 down here. Getting lots of pencil marks. Once we start getting some digits, I think it's gonna unravel. We just gotta find that magic spot where we've only got one option. 1, 5. So I knew there was a 6 in one of those too. Can I do anything with that? I don't think so. So done 5s up there. I haven't looked at 5s down here, I guess. There's still several options though, quite a few. Done 5s here. Have I done 5s over here? Can't remember. I don't have 5s written in here, so I'm gonna look over here. 5s. So let's make those yellow. That puts a 4 in the 5th position in one of these, so it can't be up there. This one can't be a 4. So we've got 3 options. 5, 4. Yeah. But we can't put a 4 right here. Okay, so we can't put a 4 there, but that one refers to. All right, so these are 5s. Let me write this in. I'm confusing myself. So that puts a 4 in the 5th position. Okay, that can work. There can be a 4 there. Can there be a 4 right there? There can't be a 4 right there because that puts a 4 right there. So that one can't be. These two. We can't put a 4 up there, right? Which means we can't put a 5 there. This one puts a 4 right there. But I don't think we can do that either, right? Because a 4 there then says that there's a 4, or a 6 in the. We can put a 4 there. A 5 here. We can't put a 4 here. We can put a 5 here, which would put a 4 there. That's fine. Okay. I was thinking about the thing with the 4 can't be in the same, row or column, but we can put a 4 over here. We just can't put a 4 there, but that would be a 5. All right, so those 3 are the options for 5s, which then puts a 4 in one of those, which then means that's the 4th position of the middle box. So that's a 1, 4, or 6. But let's think about it. A 5 there puts a 4 there. Yeah, you can't put a 4 right there. No. Okay. Yeah, so that does work. So you can't put one here. So this is 1 or 6. There we go, 1 or 6. This rule set will really mess with your brain, trying to think through what's going on. 1 or a 6. Man. All right, I'm gonna look. We've got quite a bit in here. We've got 4 digits. We've done 2 of the boxes. I'm gonna do the other 3 of these and see if anything crops up here. So let's just start at the bottom and work our way up. So this can be 2, 3, 6, 7, 9. No, it can't be 6. 2, 3, 7, 9. So the 6 is limited to those. So this is 2, 3, 7, or 9. Same with this one. I'm gonna highlight those. Let's make them green, just so that I remember I need to check these still, because those aren't all the digits. I have to check them. Okay, 2, 3, 7, or 9 in here. This is telling you the position of the 8 in this box. So 2, 3, 7, and 9, and it can't be 7 because of the 8 up there. So 2, 3, or 9. Oh, it's going to be the same, isn't it? So this is going to be the position of the 8 up here. So 2, 3, 7, 9. Again, it can't be 7. So now we've got our 7s limited to here. So let's look at this one. This is 2, 6, 7, 9, because we can't have the 3. That's the position of the 5 down here. So 2, 6, 7, 9. And it can't be 2 because of the 5 there. These all still possible? I think so. This can't be 2. One of these is a 7. That's giving you the position of the 5. So the 5 is in the 7th position in one of those two, which then gives you the digits over here, which is going to be 3 or 9. There we go. Finally. 3, 9. There's a 9 there. This is a 3. Okay. Let me delete the highlighting there. Okay, so that 3 then says that there is a 7 in the 3rd position. Yep, there's the 7, which then says there is 5 in the 7th position up here. So this is a 5, which should hopefully then say there's a 3 in the 5th position down there. Yep, okay, good. Now, update our pencil marks. Is that 3 doing anything? Is this 5? Gives us a 5 over there. 5 down here. The 7 though. Oh, 7. There we go. So this is a 6 or a 9. So there's a 5 in the 9th position in one of these two. So there's a 5 in the 9th position in one of these two. So one of those two is a 5, which means this one cannot be a 5. And in fact, it means more than that. So there's a 5 in one of these two. Let's highlight those. That is giving us, a 5 in there is giving us the digit in the 5th position in this bottom box. And this is a 6 or a 9. And that can't be a 6. So this is a 9, which means that's a 5, which means that is a 9. So let's just do that loop again just to make sure that works. So 9 here puts a 5 down there. A 5 here puts a 9 there, which then puts a 9 there. Cool. Okay, now the trick is going to be, we want to do our loops of 3, but I got to keep going back and updating pencil marks for all 3 digits. This 9, 5 there is going to give us a 4. So that 4, you know what? I'm gonna highlight. Okay, that's a new digit, so I'm gonna highlight that so I know to come back and do that loop of 3. But I want to update the pencil marks because we've got 2, 3 here and 9. So that one's gonna be a 6. Let's highlight new digits that we haven't done the loop of 3 on yet, just to keep track so we don't miss something. Okay, that's a 6. All right, there's probably more pencil marks I'm missing, but those are the ones that were jumping out at me. All right, this 4 gives us the position of the 9 in this box. So this is a 9. That 9 is giving us the position of the 6 in this box. So this is a 6, which then means there's a 4 in the 6th position down here. Good. Now we can delete that because we've done that loop of 3. Is there any pencil mark updating we need to do there? I'm sure we can add some new pencil marks. I'm just trying to make sure I get rid of stuff that I can get rid of. Not seeing any. Okay, let's go with the 6 up here. So that's the position of the 2 in this box. So this is a 2. Good. I'm going to highlight that. Come back to it. This 2 is giving us the position of the 6 in this box, so this is a 6. That 6 gives us a 6 in the 6th position up here. Good. Okay, so we've done that loop. Now this is a 1. We can get rid of that one. This is not a 6 anymore. Is there anything else we can do? I'm not seeing anything immediately. Oh, we can get rid of this 6 here. That has to be a 6 now, doesn't it? Because of these 6s. So this is a 6. Let's highlight that. Okay, so this 1 gives us the position of the 6 up here. That's a 6, which is going to give us a 6 down here, but let's not get distracted. Okay, this is giving us the position of the 3 over here. That's a 3, which then says there's a 1 there. Perfect. All right, now, okay, I'm going to go with this one first. We've got this one down here, but this one was earlier. I don't know. First come, first served, I guess, right? And that actually, we can put a 6 down here just by normal Sudoku. All right, this 6 tells us there's a 5 in the 6th position over here. It's going to give us a 1 there. This 5 is the position of the 4 over here, so that's a 4, which then gives us the 6 there. Good. All right, let's go with this 6 next. Let's just finish off these 6s. So that is telling us there's a 9 in the 6th position up here, which is telling us there's a 3 in the 9th position down here. So we've got a 7 there. Let's highlight that one. That 3 is giving us the 6 down here again. Good. Okay, this 6 down here is a 7 in the 6th position right here. 8, there we go. That 7 is telling us there's a 7 in the 7th position. Oh, that's the 7 up here. Okay. So we can unhighlight that one because that's referencing back. We've connected that loop. We already had that 7 by normal Sudoku. You know, really, at this point, I might be able to just do normal Sudoku on a lot of these. I'm going to ignore those highlights for right now and see if I can see how much I can do with normal Sudoku. So this is 7 and 8 up here. What do we got here? These are 1, 3, and 4. This one can't be a 3. These can't be 4s, so that's a 4. So 1 and 3. What's left in here? 1 and 3. And down here is 7 and 8. Okay, don't quite have those yet by normal Sudoku. What's left in here? 2, 4, and 5. These can't be 5s, so that's a 5. Let's highlight that since it's a digit we haven't used yet. It's a new one. It's 5s. There's a 5 here. Those 5s put a 5 over here, which puts a 5 up there. All right. Got all the 6s, all the 5s. So 1 over here. There's a 3. 3. The 3, we've got 3s here and down here. That puts a 3 up here. The 3s, do we have other 3s? 3, 3, there's a 3 up here. Yeah, okay. All right, let's do some of these highlighted ones. How about this 1? That puts a 5. Oh, that's referencing that 5, which is referencing the 5 here. So those 3 are a loop. Okay. This 3 here is putting a 4 in the 3rd position. That's a 4 there, which puts a 4 in the 4th position, which is that one, which puts a 3 in the 4th position. Good, that loop there. Let's see, how about this 5? That puts an 8 in the 5th position up here, which puts a 2 in the 8th position. Good. That 2 puts the 5 there again. Okay, good. Well, now we've got a column here. This has to be a 7. This has to be 2. maybe now we can do some more normal Sudoku again. These are 1 and 8. 7, 7, 7. There's a 7 up here. Okay. This 4 says that there's a 5. Oh, that's that 5 there, which then gives us the 7 in the 5th. So these 3 here are all a loop. This 8 is giving us an 8 in the 8th position down here. Oh, well, we should already had the 4 there anyways, but that 8 is giving us a 7 in the 8th position down here. Was that 4-8 may have been erroneous. I have a 4-8 right there. Is there a reason that can't be a 7? It's a 7. All right, let's put a 7 there. This 8 gives us the 8 there. No, it doesn't. I'm sorry. Okay, let's go back. Let's put that. Why? Oh, there we go. Sorry. My fingers are getting too many buttons on the keyboard. All right, that 4, this 8 actually gives us an 8 here. Which then gives us a 4 down here. Okay, good. Good. So those are a loop. Okay. Whew. Thought I messed something up there for a second. That would have been bad. This far along. These are 7 and 9. Okay. This 1 here gives us a 4 in the 1st position down here, which is going to give us a 7 in the 4th position up here, which is going to give us a 1 there. Perfect. What's left here? 1. Let's see what else we can do. I keep wanting to do normal Sudoku, and I never can quite finish it off with that. But 5, 6, 7. It just seems like it would be a lot easier at this point. Normally, trying to do normal Sudoku is makes it difficult. Oh, this is going to be a 1. So we have 8, 9 there. But normal Sudoku is much easier to wrap your head around than this rule set. Nuts. Shoot, what do we do? All right, let me go back. Because where are we putting a 4 in this? There has to be 4 up here. Can that be a 4? I had it as a 1, 7, 8. Can that not be a 4? What happens if that's a 4? That puts a 1 in the 4th position there, which there is. Okay, so that's a 4. I don't know why I had that as a 1, 7, and 8, 7 or 8, but that's a 4. Okay, these are 8, 9. That's a 4, which puts a 1 there, which puts a 2 there. So those are a loop. Good. Okay, these are 1 and 2. I think that's okay. These are also 1 and 2. These are 8 and 9. So we've got some 1, 2, 1, 2, 8, 9, 8, 9 stuff going on here. All right, I'm going to just fill in the rest of these possibilities. These are 2 and 3. And these are 7 and 9. Now, I had this as a 2, 7. Let's check if that can be a 9. If that's a 9, that puts a 2 in the 9th position there, which it can't be. So this has to be a 7, which is going to put a 2 there, which is going to put a 2 there, which is going to put a 7 there. Yes, perfect. This is now a 3. I think, I'm going to highlight that one, but I think we can probably just finish it off with normal Sudoku now. 2, 1. This is 9. It's going to give us an 8 and a 9 and 7 and 8. And this is 1, 3, 1, 2, 3. And, oh, not quite. Okay, so this 3 is, that's not going to help us much. Okay, so we need to just check one of these. So this one would put a 7. If this was an 8, this is giving us the position of the 7 up here, which is in the 9th position. So that's a 9, 7, 9, 8, 7, and 8. There we go. Okay, so that was Oroboros 2. There is a version 1. I'll put links to both of them in the description below. You can go check them out. That rule set definitely breaks my brain. It makes it really hard. I don't know. I feel like I need to go take a nap now. But it was a lot of fun, and it's cool to do something completely different like that. Weird connections, those weird triangles, and yeah. There you go. That was fun. I enjoyed that. Thank you to Mallow the Cloud or Michael. Hope you guys enjoyed that. If you tried it yourself, let me know how you did with it. Uh, if you were able to complete it or not. Yeah. All right. I'd be interested to hear from people on that one. All right. See you again soon.